Hey guys, I'm just leaving the gym right now, and while I was working out, I started thinking about what I should do for this week's Weapons Wednesday. And I started thinking back to that video I made a few weeks ago where I made the bounty hunter spear. And that video turned out really good, so if you haven't seen it, definitely go ahead and watch it on YouTube. But the main complaint I got from people was that they didn't have all the tools that I had available to me in order to make the spear. So I thought today, instead, what I should do is I'll make a weapon that anyone can make just from things at their local hardware store. So before I begin, if you could just like this video and subscribe to our channel, that would be awesome. But let's go ahead and go to the hardware store and just see what we can find. Okay, so I'm looking at all the different tubes available at this hardware store, and there's a bunch of different options. They've got this conduit here, which was kind of my original plan. The only problem is it's 10 feet long, and I don't think that's gonna fit in my car. So I came up with a couple of different possibilities. They actually had this really cool stainless steel tube over here, and I'll show that to you real quick. Right here, and it looks really nice. I actually like it a lot. The only thing I'm concerned about is I'm not sure you guys will be able to find that at your hardware store. So I came up with the idea of looking at different closet rods, and they had this really cool one here. It's like a chrome closet rod. The diameter is probably about 3/4 inch, so it's a little thin, but I think it's going to make a really nice Escrima stick. So I'm going to buy that, but I've got to figure out how to cap the ends. So I'm going to go ahead and look at different options for capping the end of this. Okay, so I looked through all their bins and I found these little furniture caps, and they came in the exact size that they should fit nicely into the end of the tube. So I think that's really our best option. All right, I'm going to buy this stuff and bring it back. Okay, so I'm back in the office and I've got my chrome closet rod and my furniture caps. Now what we're trying to do is we're trying to create something similar to our high strength aluminum Escrima sticks that we manufacture here at KarateMart.com. So if you look at this, these are the ones we manufacture in-house. They look like they're a solid metal Escrima stick, but they're actually hollow on the inside. It just uses a really strong, thick-walled aluminum so that they actually can hold up to a lot of damage. But we're going to be using this closet rod, which actually has a little bit thinner walls to it, but it's made of steel, so I have a feeling it's going to be pretty strong if we actually try to hit something with it. And at the end of this video, I'm actually going to test it out a little bit. So the first thing we want to do is cut this down to the right size. And typically an Escrima stick is around 26 inches long. So I'm just going to grab my measuring tape and measure this out to 26 inches. And mark it right there. Now, we want to put some grip on this Escrima stick. So I'm going to actually put a mark 2 inches up where our grip lines are going to start. And generally the grip area is around 8 inches. So I'm just going to mark an area of around 8 inches on here, which would be the 16-inch point on our measuring tape. And then I'm actually going to put a mark for the grip at every 1/4 inch. Okay, so now that we've got everything marked out, let's use our pipe cutter, which I just grabbed a standard pipe cutter from the hardware store. And let's put that at the 26-inch point. And let's cut this down to size. So pipe cutters are kind of cool. You just tighten it a little bit, then you turn it, and then you tighten it a little bit more, and then you turn it a little bit more, tighten it a little bit more, turn it a little bit more, and eventually it'll just go all the way through the pipe. So that actually works really well for making grip lines too, because you can just put it in a little ways and make a nice line for a grip line. Okay, so if you look, it cut it really nice and smoothly around the edge there. So we actually have a really well-sized 26-inch Escrima stick. But now we have to use the pipe cutter to cut in all these little grip lines. And that's gonna take a little bit of time, but I'll speed up the video so you can kind of see the process being done. So we just start with the first line, put the pipe cutter on it, and we just go around a few times just to get a nice little grip to it. Okay, this is the last one. Okay. All right, so if we look at this, I don't know if you can see that on camera, but it looks pretty sweet. Those grip lines actually look really nice. It took a long time to do using a pipe cutter, but you know, if you don't have anything better at home to use, a pipe cutter will get the job done. And I actually think it creates a really nice grip line. That feels like a good grip when I'm holding it. So now the next thing we have to do is we have to throw some end caps on here. And we bought those furniture caps to look like this, and they just slide right in there. But the problem is they will come out if you strike something with them. So we have to use some sort of adhesive to keep it in there. So I'm gonna use epoxy, but if you don't have epoxy at home, you could use silicone, you could use rubber cement, you know, any sort of glue should work for you. But personally, I think epoxy holds the best. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Okay, so the caps are epoxied on the inside of that, and it actually looks pretty good. Like if you look at the end of it, it looks like a pretty nice Escrima stick. I mean, it's not perfect, but you know, I actually like the look of it. And if you wanted to, you could take some really high grit sandpaper and just kind of sand the edges of it. But I actually like the look of this. And I feel like it's pretty strong too. So let's go outside and actually test this out and see how strong it is. Okay, so let's take one more look at it now that we're outdoors. I think that looks pretty awesome for a nickel-plated steel Escrima stick. But now we've got to test out its strength on this watermelon over here. Okay, so if you look at the watermelon, this Escrima stick demolished it, and there's no damage to it at all. It actually looks great. So if you have ever thought about making a metal Escrima stick before, this is a really easy one to make. I like it. I think it's pretty awesome. But if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, and make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel. Also, if you've ever been wanting a metal Escrima stick, check out the ones we hand make on KarateMart.com, because they are a lot nicer than this, and they're just really cool. So until next week, we'll see you Weapons Wednesday.